Welcome po sa inyong lahat na nanonood ngayon ng ating online event sa ating Adobe Photoshop. I hope na you will stay and tapusin ninyo yung ating video today on how to use Adobe Photoshop. Ang aming ituturo sa inyo ay mga basics on using Adobe Photoshop, and tuturo din namin sa inyo kung paano natin gagamitin si Photoshop para magawa natin yung mga common and basic na task job we have in the field, particularly sa ating mga kasamang mga nasa academia. Yan. So, tuturo ko sa inyo ngayon ang iba't ibang pamamaraan kung paano natin gagamitin si Photoshop sa paggawa ng ating mga, let's say for example, report cover, yung ating mga cover photos sa ating mga let's say for example, Google Classroom. Yan. So, paano natin gagawin yung photos, paano tayo mag-insert ng text, mag-change ng a little bit of changing background, at tuturo din namin sa inyo yung paano natin i-maximize yung Adobe Photoshop para sa ating mga trabaho. So, I hope na you will stay. Magtatagal yung ating tutorial ng perhaps more or less 2 hours. And thank you so much sa mga nandito na sa ating live stream. Good day and welcome po sa inyong lahat na ngayon ay nanonood sa ating live streaming para sa ating Photoshop tutorial. And this time, tuturuan ko kayo ng some of the basics in Adobe Photoshop, like how we make our report covers, how we insert text, how we crop, how we change background, a little bit on changing background of an image. And tuturuan ko rin kayo on the basics of Adobe Photoshop. Stay tuned sa ating streaming today. lahat na nanonood ngayon ng ating online event sa ating Adobe Photoshop. I hope na you will stay and tapusin ninyo yung ating video today on how to use Adobe Photoshop. Ang aming ituturo sa inyo ay mga basics on using Adobe Photoshop, and tuturo din namin sa inyo kung paano natin gagamitin si Photoshop para magawa natin yung mga common and basic na task job we have in the field, particularly sa ating mga kasamang mga nasa academia. Yan. So, tuturo ko sa inyo ngayon ang iba't ibang pamamaraan kung paano natin gagamitin si Photoshop sa paggawa ng ating mga, let's say for example, report cover, yung ating mga cover photos sa ating mga let's say for example, Google Classroom. Yan. So, paano natin gagawin yung photos, paano tayo mag-insert ng text, mag-change ng a little bit of changing background, at tuturo din namin sa inyo yung paano natin i-maximize yung Adobe Photoshop para sa ating mga trabaho. So I hope na you will stay. Magtatagal yung ating tutorial ng perhaps more or less 2 hours. And thank you so much sa mga nandito na sa ating live stream. And I hope na you will stay, and I hope na may matutunan kayo as we go on with our Adobe Photoshop tutorials. Ito po ay para sa ating mga beginners, at kung meron mang nanonood ngayon na advanced in terms of using Adobe Photoshop, thank you so much, and we will be happy to hear from you. Just let us know by sharing your thoughts dyan sa ating comment box, at maging sa mga nandito na sa ating live stream, pwede tayong mag-comment at sabihin kung ano yung ating mga questions, queries regarding Adobe Photoshop, at sasagutin po namin kayo sa abot ng aming makakaya kung paano natin gagamitin si Adobe Photoshop. Lamang, perhaps hindi namin kayo masagot today. Gagawa kami ng paraan na masagot kayo the other way around, kaya ay makapag-communicate kami sa inyo. Kaya para mangyari yon, huwag natin kalimutan yung ating pag-like doon sa ating Facebook page na Nantech Vlog, at isi-share din namin sa inyo dyan sa ating chat box yung ating link doon sa ating Facebook page. At sa mga teachers na nandito ngayon na member ng ating online distance learning support group, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you will learn a lot sa ating tutorial ngayon, and I hope you will also enjoy our tutorial this time. Thank you so much for being there. And to start with, we will be starting with our topic on getting to know Adobe Photoshop. Kikilalanin natin ngayon si Adobe Photoshop. Gusto ko munang ipakilala sa inyo kung ano-ano yung nandito kay Adobe Photoshop para wag tayong mahirapan kapag gagamitin na natin siya. So, tabi lang ako. I will just be here at the bottom of the screen. Yan. Okay. So, this is now Adobe Photoshop. Okay? So, in this part, ay ituturo sa inyo yung basic tools and techniques of Adobe Photoshop. I-introduce ko muna sa inyo yung Adobe Photoshop work area, at ipapakita ko sa inyo paano tayo mag-open at mag-save ng ating image, mag-zoom in at mag-zoom out, at paano natin i-undo kapag nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakamali, let's say for example. So, paano nga ba mag-open ng image sa Adobe Photoshop? Kaya Adobe Photoshop, hindi tayo makapagtrabaho kapag wala tayong image o kaya ay wala tayong new document. Kaya ang gagawin natin ngayon ay mag-open tayo at mag-save ng ating image. Tuturo ko sa inyo paano mag-open, mag-save, at paano mag-zoom in, mag-zoom out, at paano i-undo kapag meron tayong mistake. So, para mag-open ng image kay Adobe Photoshop, ang gagawin natin ay we will be clicking File, and then we will select Open, and then after that, we will look for our image. We will look for the image that we have. Let's look for the image. Okay, so let's say for example we want to open this image here. So we just click on the image and select open. So that's how we open an image. we click open. So after clicking that, our image will load in Adobe Photoshop, and that will look like the one you see on screen. This is it now. So we have just opened an image in Adobe Photoshop. So that's how we open image. So one way is in the menu bar, we click File, and then we choose Open, and then that will open existing images. So this is now the existing image. But if you want to start with a blank image, gusto nyo magsimulang gumamit ng Photoshop na blank image o kaya blanco siya kasi gagawa kayo ng inyong sariling layout, ang gagawin naman natin ay i-click naman natin si File, and then select naman natin ang New. Okay, so that's it. We'll click File, select New, and we will define yung size ng ating image. If we are starting with a blank image, gagawa tayo ng isang, kunyari, cover ng report, cover ng ating Facebook, cover ng ating Google Classroom, o kaya ay magli-layout tayo ng tarpaulin, nagsisimula tayo dito sa File and then New. O kaya ang shortcut ay Control-N. So magagamit natin ito kapag magli-layout tayo ng tarpaulin na wala pa tayong nakahandang layout. Magsisimula tayo from scratch. So kapag tarpaulin yung ating i-layout, kailangan natin kunin yung size ng ating tarpaulin in inches. Yan. So inches siya. Kung i-layout naman natin ay image o kaya report cover, we have available sizes ni Adobe Photoshop. Yan. So we can select size, and we have actually custom size. And we can save that size for use later on. So pwede natin gawin yan. So let's say for example, ang gagawin natin ay magli-layout tayo ng cover ng ating report. Ayan, so nagdi-define tayo dito ng size. Kung short size yung ating report, pwede natin i-select yan. Letter. Yan. Kung long naman size, not legal, kasi si legal is actually 14. Si long ay 13. Pwede natin i-change dyan. So pag nag-create tayo ng new image, always remember na we have to define the size. Unang-unang gagawin natin kay Photoshop kapag ki-create tayo ng blank image, dapat nating i-define yung size ng ating image. Kasi pag hindi natin na-i-define yan at nagsimula tayong mag-layout, mahirapan na tayong mag-adjust doon later on sa ating images. At kapag pag-print naman tayo sa let's say large format printing, tarpaulin, we will reduce the resolution per inch. Yan. Ilang pixels per inch. Yan yung resolution niya. So the higher the resolution, the finer the print, but the heavier the file, and sometimes printer will not support too high resolution. Kasi yung ating mga printer ay may limit din yung resolution niya. I would recommend if you are to lay out report cover, you can have 300 and below. But if you are to lay out tarpaulin, you can have 72 pixels per inch so that your layout will not be too heavy for printing. And after all, our print shop will reduce the resolution of your layout to actually 72. Okay, so this is how you create a new image, blank image, in Adobe Photoshop. Later on, I will teach you how you are going to lay out your report cover using this blank new image. But this time, I want to show you ito muna. Paano ba gamitin si new? Pwede mong i-save yung preset na yan. Kunyari, sasabihin mo ito ay report cover long size. Yan. So that later on, hindi mo na kailangang mag-resize ulit. Kaya mag-command ulit ng size. So you can have here, let's say for example, 300 pixels per inch. Kasi maliit lang yung printing natin. Color mode natin is RGB 8-bit and background is white. Then these are actually default, so leave it there. Pwede natin i-save yung preset na yan. Pwede natin i-save para magamit natin siya later. So pwede natin lagyan ng dito pa natin lalagay yung ating name. So report cover, and let's say for example the tarpaulin is size 4 by 5 feet. So 4 feet is actually 4 times 12, 48 inches. So, dapat i-convert natin si feet sa inches. I-convert natin siya. So, ang mangyayari, ang 4 inches na width will become 48 at yung height na 5 feet will become 5 times 12, 60. So, patayo ito. This is portrait. The width is narrower than the height. Okay? If yung tarpaulin may pahiga, 60 naman yung width, tapos 48 yung height. Pero ang size na yan is 4 by 5. Then, ang resolution must be 72. After mo na-create yung size na yan, still you can save that preset and pwede mong sabihin na this is tarpaulin size na 4 by 5 feet. Okay? So, we will now click OK. So, next time, pag nag-layout ka ng tarpaulin, select mo lang tarpaulin 4 by 5 feet. So, pag nagle-layout ka naman ng tarpaulin na, let's say, for example, 2 by 3, 2 feet height, 3 feet width. So, the width should be 36. The height is 2 is 24. 2 times 12 is 24. 72 resolution. Then, click Save. Tarpaulin 2 by 3 feet. Okay. So, that's it. You saved your preset. So, once selecting your size, after mo na select yan, because we are creating blank document, ito yung mangyayari sa ating Photoshop. Yan. So, this is long size. Long size. So, kapag sinave natin yan as image later on, ang size niyan ay long size bond paper. Ito naman ay yung ating image na inopen kanina at pag nagkaroon tayo ng modification sa image na yan, isi-save natin yan, magkakaroon tayo ng new image. Okay, so that's how we open and create image. Ngayon ay i-familiarize ko kayo sa ating interface. Let's familiarize the interface. So bago tayo gagamit ng Photoshop, memorize muna natin yung parts. Yung ating menu bar at the very top. Ayan, ito yung menu bar. Yung nasa taas. So file, nandyan, edit. Nandyan din ang image, layer, type, select, filter, 3D view, window, help. Kapag ang Photoshop na na-install nyo ay hindi extended version, walang 3D yon, walang 3D. Pero hindi naman masyado nagagamit si 3D sa mga advanced user, napakaganda ng 3D. So we have file. Under kay file, you have lots of commands and adjustment panels. Ayan. Napakaraming command. Ang basic na lagi natin ginagamit actually is file to open and save our document, and layer. Ito, common na gagamit. Image is also very useful. Select. Actually, lahat sila. Depende sa task na gagawin natin. Okay, next is below our menu bar, the menu bar, tinatawag natin option bar. Option bar displays options of the tool you are currently working with. So, yung nasa left side, yung ating tools panel, ito, yung ating tools panel. Tools yung nandyan sa left side. These are the options. Okay, so that's how we use them. The tools panel. Excuse me. On the right side of our Photoshop interface is actually the panels. These are the panels. We have here the color panel, swatches panel, adjustment panel, styles panel, layers panel, channels panel, and paths panel, and other options here at the left. Characters panel, paragraph panel, and many other panels which we can actually display later. So yan yung nasa right side ng ating Photoshop. So at the left are our tools, daming tools. Yan. Kung gusto nyo malaman yung mga pangalan ng tools, just place your mouse over each tool. Quick selection tool, crop tool, pang-crop ng ating image. We have brush tool, stamp, clone stamp tool, pang-clone. We have paint bucket, very common. We have eraser, we have magic eraser, we have eraser tools. We have our blur tool, dodge tool. We have pen tool, text type or horizontal type tool. We have our path selection tool. We have rectangle tool, and we have zoom tool. We have also our foreground and background color. We have our quick mask mode, and we have our change screen mode. So those are the different tools. And then at the middle, this one at the middle, yung nakikita nyo is what we call the document window. And the document window. This is the document window. It displays the file you are currently working on. Multiple open documents show up in tabs. So, kung ang dami mong documents, naka-tab yan siya. So, you can transfer from one tab to another. So, that's it. Now, to save or to close your image, all you have to do is just click File and then Close. If you want to close them all, you can select Close All. You can also click the X button, the Close button actually, at the side of your tab. So that's how you close your image. Now, you can change your view of an image. Remember, changing the view of an image appears only on your screen. Nasa screen mo lang yan. Kung gusto mong palakihin o kaya ay paliitin sa view yung image na tinatrabaho mo. This is very useful kapag you are working on edges ng images. So, paano gawin yan? Paano gawin yung ating pagre-resize ng image? May dalawa tayong tool na basic na gagamitin. So, pag sinabing tools, pumunta tayo sa tools panel. Ang gagamitin natin is actually the zoom tool. Yan. We have zoom tool here. Tingnan nyo, nasa left side. Nasa baba ng hand tool. Yan, dalawang tools na yan ang gagamitin natin para mag-zoom in, out, at mag-pan. When you say pan around your image, i-move mo yung image mo from left to right or up and down. So when you click the zoom tool, automatic papalit yung ating options bar. Yan, magkakaroon ng option for our zoom tool. As you can see, yan. If this is plus, this is zoom in. If this is negative, that is zoom out. Yan, so tingnan natin yan. Then we have here options, Resize Windows to Fit. So if you are to use that Resize Windows to Fit, our window will resize so that our image will fit. Then, mangyayari yan kapag ang dami mong open images. Zoom all windows naman kapag ang dami mong nakaload na images, lahat ng windows ay magsuzoom. Yan. Scrubby zoom ay medyo scrubby yung pagkaka-zoom. Yan. And then, when you say 100%, the actual size ng image mo, fit on screen, magpi-fit sa screen yung image mo. And fill screen, pupunuin niya yung screen mo, pero merong part ng image na mawawala. So, this is fit screen. Ngayon, what is the shortcut between zoom in and zoom out? From in your keyboard, you press Alt, and your tool will change from one option to another. If your tool is in zoom out and you press Alt, it will transform into zoom in. If you are in zoom in and you press Alt, it will become zoom out. So the keyboard shortcut for switching between function of a given tool is Alt, especially our zoom tool. So Alt and release Alt and Alt. That's it. So, and the shortcut is here on the options bar, fit on screen. So that's how you use the zoom tool. Another way, if you have your mouse and your mouse has a scroll wheel, all you have to do is actually press Alt and move the mouse scroll wheel up and down. Scroll up, scroll down, scroll up, that's zoom in, and scroll down, but make sure to hold Alt. hold or press Alt. Press and hold Alt, okay? So scroll down and scroll up. That's it. So the use of zoom tool. Next, hand tool is used to pan or move your image left, right, up, and down. This is applicable if you have zoomed in your image to fill the screen. You can use hand tool to move your image. That's it. Excuse me. Okay, so you can use hand tool to move your image. And to go back to zoom tool while using hand tool, you can make use of Alt and then scroll up, scroll down, scroll up. That's it. Then back to hand tool. So if you have selected hand tool here and you press Alt from the keyboard, you press and hold Alt and you scroll up, your hand tool becomes zoom tool. When you release Alt, pag ni-release mo yung Alt, ang tool mo babalik sa hand tool. Kaya when you work, it's better to have hand tool and Alt tayo para makapag-zoom in or zoom out. And hand tool tayo para makapag-move ng ating image. Gagamitin natin ito later on managing our images. Okay. Ngayon, pag nagkamali tayo somewhere else, we always have our undo command. Yung undo natin ay makikita dito sa edit menu. Pa-click natin yan. Ayan. We have Control Z undo. Step backward is Alt Control Z and step forward is Shift Control Z. What's the difference between step backward and undo? Undo is just reverting once. Let's say for example, I accidentally painted 3 times our image. If you are to use undo, it will only be done once. Okay, as you can see, the shortcut is actually Ctrl Z. If we undo, that becomes, after selecting undo, it will become redo. So it's just once. But if you want to go back to your previous actions or to undo the last thing, actually undo will just undo the last thing you did. You choose undo or press Ctrl Z. If for Mac users, you can have Command Z. Okay. To redo the last thing you did, you press Ctrl Z again, or you click or select Edit and Redo. But if you want to undo multiple steps, you are going to choose Edit and step backward multiple times, or select a step in the History panel. Okay, so where is our History panel? When we talk of panel, that is located at the right here. And the History panel is actually this one, the uppermost tool in your default settings. If you click this one, this is actually the History panel. You can click here to go back to previous steps. That's it, your History panel. You can also have the shortcut, which is Alt Control Z. So if it happens that we are in this last thing we did and we want to go back to the first thing, which is good, we have not accidentally painted the image, we just click Alt Control Z. I'm pressing now Alt Control Z. Okay, that's it. So that's very important if you accidentally made changes in your image. So that's very important. So try to learn that. Okay. So next is to save your work. To save your work, you have actually File, Save, or File, Save As. Saving in Photoshop format. Yan. Dalawang uri ng pagsisave natin. Photoshop at saka JPEG or PNG or GIF or any standard image format you want. If you want to retain the layers, type, text, and other editable Photoshop properties, it's best to save your work or image in PSD format while you are still working on it. And kahit tapos mo nang trabahuin siya, isave mo pa rin in PSD format kasi baka later on, meron kang gagawing changes. At kapag ready ka naman to print your output, i-click mo na, isi-save mo na siya as image. Paano ngayon mag-save in Photoshop format? Always go back to your move tool kasi if you are using a certain tool, we can actually press still file, but going back to move tool is safe because whatever pending change in your image is applied when you use move tool. Okay, so let's click file and then we have save. Save is used if you are saving your file the first time or saving changes you made. But if you want to save your file in another name or another type, you have to select save as. Okay, but if you are to save your file now as PSD format the first time, you can have save as. But the second time around, you want to save your Photoshop file, you may use save only. Okay, so let's click save because we are saving the file the first time. This is what I am talking about. This is actually saving the file as image. This is actually saving the file as JPEG. So we will not be saving the file as JPEG. We will save the file as Photoshop format. So we will click file, then we will click save as. This is now our file. So to save this one in Photoshop format so that next time pwede mo pa siyang i-open, pwede mo pang ma-edit yung layers, select mo yung format and then Photoshop. Huwag natin kalimutan yan. Then bigyan natin siya ng file name. Kunyari, this is coffee. Fruity coffee PSD. Ganyan mag-save ng file. Para mag-save naman ng image, ang gagawin natin ay file, save as, or shift, control S, then select naman tayo ng image format. The very common na ginagamit natin is actually JPEG, the first one. And then we have PNG, kung transparent ang background, that's PNG. We also have BMP, kung transparent ang background. Yan lang, yung tatlong common image. So, click natin ang JPEG. Kung ano yung file name niya as PSD, yun din ang ipa-file name niya as JPEG. Pwede mo ring palitan. Okay, click natin ang save. Okay. Ito naman yung ating JPEG options. Kung gusto mong medyo maliit yung size ng file mo, actually, nandito yung size ng file. Ayan, nasa baba ng Word na preview. That's only 113 KB. So, small na yan, maliit na yan. So, walang problema dyan. But you can adjust here kung masyadong malaki yung file. Kaya lang, the quality is compromised. Ayan. So, kung ayaw mo ma-compromise yung property, I would suggest you select between high and maximum. Then, after doing that, you can click OK. Pwede ka rin mag-slide here. Ayan, slide. Kung ayaw mo mag-select between dito. Pero pwede ka rin mag-select dyan. Okay, so that's it between quality of image. Next, leave these options here by default. Then you click OK. So, isi-save niya ngayon yung image as fruitycoffee.jpg. Okay, so that is how you save Photoshop file. Up next is our tutorial on how to change the image size. Okay, so this is actually image. So how to change this image size? So please stand by and pag-aaralan natin ang ating how to change paano i-change yung image size according sa size na gusto natin. But gusto ko lang balikan na huwag nating kalimutan yung ating commands on tool at yung ating zoom tool. These things are very important kapag ginagamit natin si Adobe Photoshop. And later on, mas ma-appreciate natin siya kapag gagamitin na natin si Photoshop sa ating workaround, sa ating trabaho as teacher or as layout artist or as Photoshop artist. Okay, so let's continue on changing the image size. Okay, so in this tutorial naman ay matututunan nyo on how to resize image, paano mag-crop, paano mag-straighten ng ating image, at paano mag-add ng image doon sa image canvas. Yan, ng Adobe Photoshop. So, unang-unang pag-aaralan natin ay paano mag-resize ng image. Resize an image or change the size of an image. Ang gagawin natin is, ganito yung gagawin natin. We just select on, kunyari ito yung image na gusto nating i-resize. Ang gagawin natin ay, ano yung size ng image na gusto nating i-achieve. Yan. Let's say for example, ito gusto nating gawing 4 inches by 6 inches. Ayan. O kaya gusto nating gawin ito ng 2 by 3 inches. Dapat meron tayong size na gusto nating i-achieve o gusto nating gamitin. Or halimbawa, ilang pixels. Meron kasing mga, halimbawa, cover photo ng ating Google Classroom ay actually 1,000 pixels by 250 pixels. Ayan, so yung size ng ating image is either pixels or inches or centimeters para doon sa mga piniprint nating image. So para yung ating proportion ay ma-preserve, yung link icon highlighted doon mamaya sa image size ay dapat highlighted yun siya. Ayan. So kapag nag-change tayo ng image size, ay ganito yung gagawin natin. Kunyari, gagawin natin 4 by 6 ang image na ito. Pupunta lang tayo sa, select lang natin yung image. Ayan, ito yung image natin mismo. Pupunta lang tayo sa image, and then select natin yung image size. Pag selected na natin yung image size, ayan, so we have actually pixel dimension. Ayan, yun dyan sa taas. Meron din tayo tinatawag na document size. Ang pixel dimension, automatic nag-adjust depende sa ating document size. So, I would suggest dito tayo sa document size. Isi-select natin yung inch or inches. Yan. Actually, ang image is 4.625 by 6.9 inches. Yan. Size yan, make sure to check yung constraint proportion. Ayan. I-check natin yung portion, automatic lalabas yan siya. So, kung gagawin natin 6 ang width, automatic susundan tayo ng height. Ang mangyayari nito, when we do this, hindi ma-distort yung ating image kasi automatic yung proportion niya is retained. Kung hindi natin i-retain ang proportion, ma-distort yung image natin. So, let's have 6 by 3 that's actually 4. Kung if 4 natin yan, that's 6.06. Hindi exact yung size ng ating image. So, pag click natin OK, the proportion is still there. But if you are to change the image size, and then di mo i-check yung constraint proportion, and then go tayo sa inches, at papalitan mo yan ng 6 by exactly 4, and pixels actually auto-adjust depending on the resolution we set. Pag ginawa mong 300 yan, higher ang pixel niyan, higher yung quality ng ating image, pero higher din yung size. Usually, images are, yan, magandang resolution sa image is 300 to the maximum. Pag i-click mo na ngayon yan, ang okay, tingnan natin yung image. Yan, may slight distortion. Parang umakyat siya konti. Yan. Pero hindi naman siya obvious. Kaya so okay lang. So kung napansin nyo, when we resize the image, ang original size ng image, balik tayo sa image size, image menu, ang pixel niya is only 300 by 500. 333 by 500. Maliit yung pixel niya, mababa yung quality ng image natin kapag printed at maliit siya. So we go to inches para makuha natin yung gusto nating size. Then pwede tayong mag-increase ng resolution. Observe nyo kapag nag-increase tayo ng resolution at nag-change tayo ng size, 6 by 4, 4 ang height, 6 ang width, that's landscape. Di natin i-constrain ang proportion kasi nga we want this really the size, the 4 by 6 exact, 300. Kung napapansin nyo, pag i-click natin yung OK, lalaki yung ating image. Ayan. Kasi nga, we have increased the resolution. So, that's how you resize image. Then, after that, you click OK. Ngayon, to change the resolution of image, yung pinakita namin kanina, ayan. For printing, usually, sa image size, resolution is 300. Yan, 300 talaga yan siya. So, ano yan siya? Typical for desktop inkjet printer. Higher than that, parang may ibang printer hindi na kayang i-print. Kaya magtataka kayo ba't ayaw i-print ng printer yung image ko? Kasi you have set too much or too high resolution. Then after nyo na-change yung resolution together with the size, you can click OK. So to crop an image, all we have to do is to use the crop tool. Ano naman yung cropping ng image? Yung cropping naman ng image, ginagawa natin yun kung certain part ng image hindi natin kailangan. Let's say for example, babawasan natin yung ating image. Tatanggalin natin medyo yung handle ng cap. So ang gagawin natin is to use the crop tool. So how to crop and straighten an image. Okay? So just to do that, we select crop tool. So tool ang pinag-usapan, dito siya sa tool bar. Select crop tool, then na-observe nyo ba in the edge ng image. Yan. So to crop image, you just simply drag here. But as you can see, yung size ng ating image na 4x6 ay nawala kasi nag-crop tayo. Kung ayaw nyong mawala yung size ng image na yan, you can have your ratio here sa taas sa options bar. So sabihin mo sa ratio yung iyong width, height, and resolution. So, pag sinabi mong width mo ay 6, yung height mo ay 4 inches, let's have 6 inches, yung height mo ay 4 inches, at yung resolution mo ay 300 pixels per inch. Yan, tandaan natin yan kasi maliit yung pixel per centimeter. Gawin natin pixel per inch, yan, at gawin natin 300 pixels per inch. Pag nag-drag tayo, pag nag-crop tayo, ang cropping na yan ay naka-ratio on 4x6. So, hindi mawawala yung size. Ito naman ay portrait na 4x6. Ito ay landscape. So, pag nag-crop tayo, ayan. At kapag sinelect naman natin yung straighten, ayan. Ang mangyayari naman ay pag nag-command tayo, ayan. As you can see, kung meron tayong gustong i-achieve na straight, nasaan yung gusto nating straight na angle? So, kung gusto natin i-straighten yung ating cap, so ang gagawin natin ay use the straight tool and then drag tayo dyan. Drag as if you are making a line. Kunyari, ito yung gusto nating straight. Yan. So, kung titignan nyo si cap ay nag-straight. Or, kung gusto mo namang mano-manong i-straighten yung image, you can have your mouse here sa corner o kaya sa side and mag-change siya doon sa curve na cursor or arrow. Pwede mong ikutin yung image mo, drag, this is dragging actually, mano-manong dragging para makuha mo yung angle na gusto mo sa cropping. Yan. So that's it. Then after that, you press enter. Ganyan tayo gumawa o mag-crop ng ating image. Ngayon naman is how to change our canvas size. Okay? So, ang gagawin naman natin ay choose natin yung image. And then, select naman natin yung canvas size. Okay. So, dito naman, select natin yung size in inches. When you say canvas size, ito naman yung size ng, kumbaga, pinagpatungan natin ng image. To add a canvas, enter the amount of width and height to add. Measure width and height in pixels for online use or in inches for print. Usually kapag ka-online ang gamit ng image, pixel yung sizes. Kung print naman usually inch. Hindi naman tayo masyado online. We usually use images for print. So, pag ginawa natin itong 10 by 8, ang mangyayari is, yan, we extended our canvas. Sabi ko nga kanina, yung canvas seems to be yung pinagpatungan mo ng iyong image. After that, you press enter. So as you can see now, you have extended your image canvas. But it added a white space doon sa palibot o paligid ng iyong image. Ayan. So kung napapansin nyo. And in this case, pwede mo nang magamit yung extra space na yan para sa image mo. Kung hindi mo naman kailangan si canvas, papasok na naman tayo doon sa ating crop tool. Yan, papasok tayo sa crop tool para mag-create tayo ng ayan, para makuha natin yung size na gusto natin, then we press enter. Meron pang naiwan, move natin konti. Okay, so that's how you resize your canvas. Or pwede mo rin gamitin si Shift or Alt Control Z. Ayan, Alt Control Z tayo. Multiple undo operation. Okay. So, that's how we change image size. Napakahalaga ng changing ng image size every time gumagawa tayo ng image sa Photoshop. Kasi nga, nakadepende yon sa size na gusto natin i-print. Always put in your mind, anong size ba ang gusto mong i-print? Kung anong size yon, yun dapat ang layout na ginagawa mo kay Photoshop. Kasi pag hindi mo ginawa na i-command o i-set yung size na gusto mong gamitin, ang mangyayari sa printing mo, distorted pa rin yan kapag nasa final printing ka na. Okay? So now, let's go to layers. Yan, mag-work on layers na tayo. Ano naman yung sinasabing layers? So, palitan lang natin yung image. I-click ko lang yung hindi mo natin papalitan yung image. Dadagdagan na lang natin siya. Okay. So, work with layers tayo. Ano ba yung layers? So, in this part now is matututunan natin how to use layers in the layers panel, resize the content of a layer and add image to a layered file, and work with a background layer in Adobe Photoshop. Common yun, background layer. So, let us understand layer. Ano ba yung layer? Yan. So, mag-a-add lang tayo ng new image dito. So, I will open this image. I-drag mo lang yan over doon kay Photoshop. Okay, i-drag mo lang ito dito kay Photoshop. Ayan. So, we have now our image here and then press mo yung enter. Pupunta tayo ngayon sa layer palette. Ayan. And then, kunyari, mag-add lang ako ng text dito. Fruity coffee. Size ko lang 36. Then move ko lang. Okay. Let's go now to layers. Layers contain the images, the text, and objects that make up a layered file. Yan. So, kung titignan yung layers natin, yan. Ito yun, nasa layers palette tayo. Lahat ng tinatrabaho natin sa Photoshop, nandito lahat yan kay layers palette. Ang layers palette help us move, edit, and work with content on one layer without affecting the content on another layer. Halimbawa, kung ang selected layer mo ay itong fruit na yan, lahat ng layer na hindi mo sinelect, hindi affected yan. So, siya lang ang pwede mong, siya lang nagagalaw, ayan, siya lang yung namo-move. The rest, hindi namo-move unless naka-activate yung auto-select dito naman sa options bar. Ayan. Kung naka-auto-select yan, whatever layer na tinamaan ng move tool mo, yun ang selected. Kung naka-uncheck naman yung auto-select, kung ano yung selected layer mo dito sa layer palette, yun lang ang magagalaw. Ayan, tinan nyo. Ayan, siya lang. Kahit saan ako mag-press, kahit i-select ko pa yung fruity coffee o kaya yung background sa likod, hindi yun mamumove kasi nga hindi naka-auto-select yung aking cursor, and at the same time sa layer palette siya ang selected layer. Yan. So hindi apektado ang ng other layer ng fruity coffee by dragging. Actually, dinadrag lang yan. Draas. Yan. And merong parang solid line na mag-appear doon sa edge ng isang layer. Pag i-move mo yan pataas, ayan, nawala na yung fruity. Nasa ilalim na nitong image na yan. So, nakastuck yan siya. If the layers panels is not visible, wala itong layers panel, kunyari, wala yan. O, wala akong layers panel. Nasaan yun? All you have to do is just click window and then select mo yung layers. Yan. Or press F7. Yan. So, i-display niya yung layers palette. In the layers palette, kung titingnan natin, ito, may eye icon. Ayan. Pag i-click mo yung eye icon na yan, ano napansin nyo? Yan. So, pag wala siya. So, that's how you hide or reveal a layer from the layer palette. Para magkaroon ng changes sa layer, make sure selected mo siya. Kasi kung hindi mo siya selected, hindi rin siya magkakaroon ng change. Kung gusto mo siyang baguhin, make sure selected siya. Kasi pag hindi mo siya sinelect, walang mangyayari. So, kung gusto mo i-change ang text, select mo muna si text. Kung gusto mo i-change itong topmost layer mo, select mo muna siya sa layer palette. Yan. Kasi pag hindi mo siya selected, hindi ka makakagawa ng changes sa kanya. Okay. In the layers panel, click once to the right of a layer name to select that layer. Yan. Para mag-select, select mo lang siya. Click mo lang yung name. Yan. Yung layer name niya actually. Select mo lang siya. To add more layers, ang gagawin mo lang is hold control as you click another layer. Yan. To add more layers. Kunyari, gusto mong i-select ay 2 layers. Ayan. So, hold mo lang yung control. Layer fruity, select. Gusto mo pa i-select isang layer, hold mo yung control. Ayan. So, dalaw sila pwede mong i-move. Okay? Yan. So, if you want to move more than 2 layers, let's say for example, we will add another layer here. Kunyari ito, this layer, add natin. So, we have now, press enter every time you add a layer. Gusto mong i-move yung dalawang layer na yan, press mo yung control. Yan, then move mo up, sabay yung dalawa. Yan. Okay, so that's it. Next. Layer order, create a new layer, change layer opacity, and delete layer. So, ano yung mga basic natin sa layer? Pagkakasunod-sunod ng layer, yan. Drag, yan. So, you just drag kapag layer order. Drag a layer up or down, yan, tingnan nyo. Observe nyo sa layer panel to move a layer up or down. Basic yan sa Photoshop. Kailangan natin i-memorize yan. Yan. And then, to create a new layer na blanco, puti. Puti lang na layer kasi gusto mong mag-paint or mag-scribble gamit ang brush. You just click the new layer command na nasa ilalim. Yan. Ito yung parang memo pad. Parang memo pad. Click mo lang yan. Yan. Meron tayong na-add na blank layer. Pero ang blank layer na yan ay transparent. Ayan. Transparent yan siya. Not unless may dinagdag ka dyan. Kaya kung titingnan mo, nasa taas nga siya pero transparent naman. Kaya hindi niya natatakpan yung ating other layers. Pero pag pininturahan natin yan gamit ang paint bucket tool ng kulay red, yan, this is red. Pag i-press natin over this layer, layer 1, ang mangyayari is, yan. So, naging red. Natakpan niya ngayon yung ibang layer. Ando tayo. Next, to name a layer, gusto mong pangalanan yung layer, you just double click ito. Yan. So, let's say for example, transparent layer. So, double click mo lang yung kanyang pangalan. And then, type mo yung kanyang layer name. Ayan. So, sabi natin, transparent yan siya. So, later, hindi na yan transparent. Kunyari, i-move naman natin itong layer up. This one, yung green leafy fruit. I don't know what kind of fruit is this. And then, balik tayo sa move tool naman para magamit natin siyang, para ma-manipulate natin yung ating commands. Yung opacity naman na tinatawag ay yung transparency ng ating opacity nga. Actually, opacity. How transparent ang ating layer. So, nandyan yan sa taas. Pag i-move down mo yan, napapansin nyo yung ating layer. Yan. The lower the opacity, the more transparent the image is. Yan. Although nasa taas siya, pero zero yung opacity niya, 0%. So, naging transparent siya. Yan. So, 100% opacity is opaque, hindi transparent. 50% is 50% opacity. That's 50%. So, we can use this one later on some effects or tricks we want in our image. So that's opacity. That's very important also. So you just slide the slider of the opacity or you adjust the percentage from here. Then to delete a layer, kunyari i-delete natin itong transparent layer, select mo lang yung layer and then click delete. Kung gusto mo naman ng shortcut, you select the layer and press delete sa keyboard. Layer, then not actually delete. You right click the layer and you select delete layer. That's it. You delete layer. Or in your keyboard, you use backspace actually. I'm sorry, not delete but backspace. In your keyboard, you use backspace to delete a layer, not the delete command. Because when you press delete, actually delete will also function. Okay, so it can be delete or backspace. I'm sorry for that. So that's how you delete layer. So you can right click the layer, delete, you can press delete or backspace, and you can select the delete layer command below your layer palette. So that's how you delete a layer. So let's delete this layer. To resize a layer, all you have to do is select that layer. Let's say for example, gusto nating resize yung green leafy fruit na yan. Select mo yung layer na yan, then click mo yung edit, then free transform. So if you have that free transform, you can now transform your image by moving the edges or the corner in order to resize. That's it. So that's free transform. Actually, without free transform, you can still resize the image by selecting it and then dragging its corner. But make sure to contain its proportion, to constrain its proportion, you should press shift. So nagsi-shift ako ngayon. Yan, you press shift. Yan, para ma-constrain yung kanyang proportion. Transform border appears kapag you select image, then free transform. You have here transform borders around all the content on the selected layer. You hold the shift key para hindi siya ma-distort. Yan, shift key para hindi siya ma-distort. Then you drag inside or outside. Yan. Pero hold tayo ng shift key. Yan, para hindi siya ma-distort. But that happens sa corner. Yan. If you want to rotate the object, outside tayo ng transform border. Yan. And yung ating cursor ay mag-turn into curve. Yan. Pwede natin siyang i-rotate. Then pwede natin siyang i-move around. Pwede din tayo mag-resize ulit. Then i-move naman natin siya ulit. Yan. So rotate tayo outside. Then pwede natin i-hold ang shift para naman yung rotation natin ay straight. Okay. Next. Click the check mark in the options bar or press enter dito kapag nag-resize tayo. Halimbawa, we resize here. Ayan. Kung okay ka sa size na yan, press mo yung check mark or you press enter. Dalawa yung ating way of doing it. To add image to a layer design, so ito naman ay maglalagay tayo ng more images doon sa layer natin. Okay? So choose file, then place embedded. Navigate to an image file in the file explorer or finder, then click place. So ganito naman yun. Magdaragdag tayo ng image. So ang gagawin naman natin is file and then place. Kunyari, dadagdagan pa natin yung image natin. This is our layer. We will add another layer. We just click file, then place. Kung hindi natin gustong mag-drag, then kunyari select natin ano ba? Ito. Wala na akong ibang fruits. Abstract ito. Dito tayo. Ayan, the tree. Okay. Place natin. As you can see now, ayan. So, after placing that image, you just click the check mark here or you press enter. And then still, our dragging and shift applies to resize the layer. So that's how you add image. Another way is actually to open the folder, select the image, drag, go to Photoshop and place it there. That is still the same. Then you press check and then you resize image. If you want to resize image to the center and dragging it from the corner, you use you use shift plus alt. This is shift plus alt. Okay, so that's it. That's how you place image. Now another thing is you might want to convert your background layer into regular layer na ito. I-hide ko muna yung ibang layers by clicking the eye icon. Yan, hide natin silang lahat. Okay, so this time, kunyari itong background layer na ito ay gusto natin siyang i-manipulate. Remember that once it is a background layer, anong sabi ni Photoshop, could not use the move tool because the layer is locked. Our background layer is locked actually. So to change this background layer so that it can be moved and it can be rearranged in the layers panel, and we can actually add some editing in the background layer, all we have to do is just click the lock icon here. So all we have to do is click the lock icon to the right of the layer name in the layers panel. Double click natin yan. After double clicking that one, all you have to do is click OK. So our background layer now becomes a regular layer that we can edit. We can make editing too. So that's also important. Okay, so those are some basic editing commands in Adobe Photoshop na kailangan nating isa-isip. Kasi kapag hindi natin alam yon, walang mangyayari sa ating trabaho sa Photoshop. Another thing might be that is important to you is resize natin. So alam nyo na itong ginagawa natin, we drag the edge. Okay, we drag the edge to resize the image. Another is to adjust brightness and improve the quality of our image by changing some contrast. Ayan. So these are things that we can do to our image. So what we do is, we go to, this is the image, we go to image, adjustments, brightness, and contrast. As you can see, disable ang command na yan. Bakit disable? Because we are actually using a smart layer. So para ma-edit natin yung layer na yan, tingnan nyo, ang icon niya. All we have to do is right-click the image and select Rasterize Layer. Rasterize Layer, and this becomes Rasterize Layer, and we can now go to Image, Adjustment, and Brightness and Contrast. This is brightness, and this is contrast. So that's how we change our image quality. Another is vibrance. Vibrance ay kung gaano katingkad yung ating image. So adjust vibrance. Look what will happen when we adjust vibrance. And saturation, how heavy the color is in the image. So this is saturation, and this is vibrance. That's it. So that is under image adjustment. Another thing is actually what we call hue and saturation. Image adjustment, hue and saturation, shortcut Control U. This is hue. Let's go back to 0. This is saturation. If you want to remove color, you make saturation 0. And this is the lightness. Of course, dark, light, and exact, or adjust some kind of lightness there. Okay, click OK. So that's hue and saturation. Another thing is adjustment layers. If you do not want to make changes to your original image, so that if ever nagbago isip mo, hindi masira yung original image mo. Okay? So, balik tayo sa original image. This is actually the original image. Kung gusto mong wag masira yung original image na yan, you use adjustment layer. So, paano ba gawin yung adjustment layer? Ano ba si adjustment layer? Adjustment layer gives you additional editing flexibility. They will allow you to re-edit image adjustment you've made and protect your original image from direct changes. So, yung adjustment layer mo, doon mangyayari yung adjustment, pero hindi masisira yung iyong original image. So, to do that, para magkaroon tayo ng adjustment layer, select the layer in the layers panel, rasterize lang natin. O pwede na rin siguro hindi rasterize. In the layers panel, select an image layer that you want to affect with the adjustment layer. Then pupunta tayo sa bottom. Ayan. And then from the bottom layer, ayan, kung nakikita nyo yung command, click the create new fill or adjustment layer. Okay. So nasaan ngayon yung new fill or adjustment layer? Ayan. Itong katabi ng ito ay layer mask, itong katabi niya. Ayan. So ito yung bilog. Create new fill or adjustment layer. Pag i-click mo yung new fill adjustment layer na yan, ano yung gusto mong i-adjust? Diba kanina nag-set tayo ng brightness and contrast, vibrance and saturation, vibrance, hue and saturation. Pag dito mo sinelect yan, kunyari, dito tayo kay black and white. Ayan. So, nagkaroon tayo ng minimize. So, these are adjustments sa black and white natin. More on red. Actually, yan kanina dyan. This is yellow. Ayan. Naging black and white yung ating image. Click natin yung arrow. As you can see, meron tayong adjustment layer. Pag i-click natin yung eye icon, mawala yung ating adjustment, pero hindi nagalaw yung original. Ayan. So, select ulit natin ito. New adjustment. Kunyari, dito natin i-adjust si hue and saturation. So, adjust natin yung hue into 0. Increase natin yung saturation. And then yung lightness a bit. Then, click natin yung arrow na yun. So, kung titingnan nyo, this is the original and this is the adjustment layer. So, walang nangyaring changes sa original image natin. So, kapag hindi natin gusto yung ating adjustment, walang nasirang image. Yan. So, always mind our new adjustment layer. Pwede natin gamitin yan. So, automatically, pag nag-select tayo ng adjustment layer, just make sure selected yung image na gusto natin i-adjust. Click lang natin yan, and then pili lang tayo ng adjustment. Yan. Vibrance. Let's say, for example, automatic mag-pop up yung property. Then, move lang natin. Yan. Saturation. Yan. Pagkatapos ayaw mo, check mo lang yung mata. Yan. At titingnan naman natin na kung kung ano yung adjustment layer na sa topmost, siya yung effective or siya yung may effect sa ating image. Yan. So, that's it. Adjustment layer. That's very important para maiwasan nating masira yung ating original image. Yan. Next is making selection. Yan, magsiselect tayo sa part ng ating image. Paano ba mag-select ng part ng image natin? Let's say, for example, itong image na ito. We want to select some part of that image. So, paano ba? So, we will learn now how to create a selection, work with popular selection tools, and fine-tune the edges of a selection in Adobe Photoshop. Okay, paano ba? Ano yung iba't ibang selection tools natin? Popular. Okay? To select a particular part of an image, itago ko lang ito. And ito. Show lang natin yan. Kung particular part lang ng image ang gusto mong i-select, you can have marquee tool. Yan, marquee tool. Select ito. And then click mo lang yung layer by, it's either via copy or gusto mo lang na some part of it. Yan. Or gusto mong i-save yung selection mo or gusto mong i-deselect or select inverse. Yan. So, rectangular marquee tool is a tool na gagamitin natin para makaselect ng part ng image. Whatever is inside this animated border here, yan yung ating selected area. To select more, mag-add tayo dyan. In the options bar, click natin yung ito. Add to selection. Yan. Pag click natin yan, whatever selected again will be added to selection. Yan, tingnan nyo. Or you can use shift actually or alt. If you are here na settings, you can use shift para mag-add sa selection. Yan. So that's marquee tool. Aside from marquee tool, pwede rin ito. Yan, elliptical marquee tool, bilog yung selection. Yan. O kaya naman ay single row marquee tool. Yan, naka-row naman. Parang line na mali. Yan, so marquee tool. Yun namang quick selection tool, ito, is to select quick, of course, mabilis. I-hide natin yan, balik tayo dito. Select natin yung, use natin yung quick selection tool. Ayan. Click lang ng click. Ayan. Si quick selection tool naman ay titingnan niya yung image selected. Ayan. So, quick selection tool. Okay. So, that's it. Ayan. So, quick selection tool. Isa naman pang select natin ay tinatawag nating Magic Wand Tool. Si Magic Wand Tool naman ay siselect ng almost pare-parehong color. Yan. Selection. Yan. So, yan yung ating mga selection tools. So, whatever selected ng marquee tool natin, yan. Yan. Kung ano yung pumasok dyan sa animated, we press Alt Shift to add to selections. Ayan. So, that's it. Select natin yung nasa labas, then delete natin. Ayan. Rasterize lang natin yung layer. Ayan. So, delete natin. Ayan. So, that's selection. Another selection tool is yung ating actually pen tool. Ayan. So, selection tools. Another tool is your Lasso Tool. Ito. Yan, Lasso Tool. Yan, so you trace the image, Lasso Tool. Bawal yung pasmado. You can also have magnetic Lasso Tool. This is how magnetic Lasso Tool works. Ito yan siya, magnetic Lasso Tool. Select natin yung image. As you can see, pipiliin niya lang yung edge na in contrast doon sa background. Yan. Sumobra tayo. Press lang natin yung delete para bumalik. Ayan. So, this is magnetic Lasso Tool. That's how magnetic Lasso Tool works. Ayan. Selecting the image here. Move lang natin siya. Tapos tayo. Oops. Delete tayo. Delete para maabura yung kanyang ayan. Pwede rin tayong mag-click. Actually, pwedeng mag-click. You try this para mag-gets ninyo how it functions. Okay, this is it. Okay. Contrast. Then you can click OK. If you are done with your selection, all you have to do now is right-click, then layer via copy. In short, we will be creating a copy of the layer without changing the original. If we click layer via cut, we will cut the original and extract this image we selected. So we click layer via copy. So we have two layers now. Dalawang layer na yan. Tanggalin natin yung icon na yan. So ayan, meron na tayong new layer. Balik tayo sa move tool. Then drag lang natin yan. Move na down. Ayan. So, nagkaroon tayo ng ibang prutas dito sa ating lagayan. Ewan ko lang kung actual size niya ay ganito rin. Ayan. Kunyari, dito siya nakalagay. Actually, hindi siya design para dito, pero sige lang. Ayan. So, that's the use of selection tool. Ayan. Okay. Gamit na gamit yan kapag ka nag-change tayo ng background ng isang image. Ayan. So, that's how we use the selection tool. Lasso tool and marquee tool. So that's it. Okay. So yun ang mga basic tools na ginagamit natin sa Adobe Photoshop. Tandaan natin yan kasi those are very important in working on with images. Ngayon naman ay puproceed na tayo sa paggawa natin ng cover ng ating report and paggawa natin ng text layer. Ayan. So, gamit na yung ating natutunan na mga procedures in Adobe Photoshop. Okay. So, yun yung basic. Yun yung basic. Tandaan lang natin, when you work under, kung sino yung nasa ilalim ng adjustment layer, lahat yun affected. Antayan natin yan. And then, we have here our different command na nasa ilalim din ng ating layer palette. Okay? So, that's it. Those are some of the procedures na dapat nating i-memorize in Adobe Photoshop. Dito na tayo ngayon sa ating first output. Gagawa na tayo ngayon ng ating report cover. Yan. Kunyari, ito yung gusto nating ma-achieve na report cover. But not exactly itong graphics na ginamit niya, but we are going to revise something para magmukhang report cover. So, tuturuan ko kayo ngayon paano gamitin si Photoshop to create report cover. So, ang sabi natin, dapat nauna tayo sa ating size. So, kunyari, when we make a cover for a long size report, pipilian natin yung 8.5 by 13 na size. So we do that by clicking File, New, and then selecting Report Cover Long Size. We created this one sa first tutorial natin. Pero kung wala sa inyo yan, hindi nyo pa na-create yan, dito yan. Type nyo yung width, yung height, yung resolution na 300, and click nyo yung OK. So ito yung width and height ng long size bond paper. Pag-click mo ng OK, so blanco yan. Ito yung gusto nating goal natin na cover. So, dalawang graphics. Magpi-place lang tayo ng image yan. File, Place, and then maghanap tayo ng graphics na gagamitin natin. Let's say, for example, ito, the blue one. Ayan, siya yung sa taas. So, to resize image, ito yung ating pinag-aralan beforehand. Press Enter, and then we will place another file. Place the orange one. Sorry, but parang ayaw niyang i-insert yung ating file na isa. Tingnan natin kung bakit. Maybe ang size nito ay very small. O nga, napakaliit ng ating image na na-download. Ayaw ni Photoshop. Maghanap natin tayo ng ibang image. Place. And then, let's say for example, ito na lang. Ayan. So, kunyari ito yung nasa baba. So, resize natin. Drag natin. Resize. Ayan. Ngayon, how to crop out part of an image na, kunyari ay we want to achieve na ganito. Ayan. Parang triangle. So, to do this, and to do that, pwede natin kunin yung image na yan. I-drag natin ito over dito sa kabilang window. Ayan. Drag natin siya and resize. I-resize natin yan. And then, i-select natin yung portion na yan na gusto natin gamitin dito. Shift. Then, we are using now our Magic Wand tool. Shift. Okay. Magic Wand tool. Shift. Or, you can also have your Lasso Tool polygonal. This is the blank space. This one here, click and drag over the page. Straight na natin to. Ayan, straight tayo. Then after that, labas tayo. Double click. I-hide natin yung ating cover. Ayan, so ito na yung ating selected area. Baba natin, drag. Move lang natin konti. Ayan. Then select natin itong layer na ito. Right click natin, rasterize kasi hindi natin siya ma-edit. Yan, rasterize natin. And then, press natin yung delete to delete that part of the image. That's it. Tapos na yung ating part ng image na gusto natin gamitin. And then, we would want a rectangle. Yan, yung rectangle na yan. How to make rectangle? All you have to do is select the rectangle tool. Drag natin dito. Ayan. And then, after that, since may fill siya, options bar tayo. Alisin natin yung fill. At maglagay tayo ng stroke na white. And then, i-adjust natin yung stroke size here. Ayan. Okay, so that's it. Then, click the move tool. Then, adjust the size of the rectangle. Adjust the size of the rectangle, then press enter. Okay, the next part na gusto nating ma-achieve is we have a text here on top. So, ang gagawin natin is rasterize this rectangle and use our marquee tool, the rectangle marquee tool, and omit this portion of the rectangle. Then press delete. Okay, then we add our text. Let's say, for example, this is your school name. So we will just change the font and change the color from here. Okay, that's it. Then you click move tool and you move your school name, or adjust your text by dragging here, or then press enter, or by selecting text tool, then Control A, select the size, then move. You can have it here, move by arrow. So to add text, you use actually the text tool. So let's say, for example, we want to add this text, annual report 2019. So let's go back here, select the text tool, press over your document window. It will create another layer. Mag-create siya ng text layer. Ang gagawin natin dyan ay tatype na tayo, annual. Then Control A. Punta tayo sa options bar. Size natin dito. Yan. Or you can have the move tool. Then drag the edge of the text. Annual. Then press enter. To duplicate a layer, you just press Control J or right-click the layer palette. Then select duplicate layer. Then yes, annual copy, or let's have report. Click OK. So after that, you just move kasi nag-duplicate. Then press to edit the text. Balik tayo sa text tool. Then highlight natin, drag, click and drag. Then type tayo, report. Then click tayo balik tayo sa move tool. Then move natin. Ayan. Then drag over tayo dito para ma-resize. Then hold natin yung shift. After that, maglalagay tayo ng year. To duplicate na natin yan. Alt, drag, pwede. Yan o, alt, drag. Alt, then click yung gusto natin duplicate, then drag. Pwede rin Control J, then drag. Or pwede rin na right click, then duplicate layer. Then this is year. Then drag down. So then palitan natin yung text. Balik tayo sa text tool. Select natin, highlight, drag, 20, let's say 2020. Move tool tayo. Then if you want to align itong tatlong layer na yan, yung year, yung report, yung annual, i-select mo yung tatlong layer by pressing control, click, then click mo itong align. Yan. So annual report 2020. So move lang natin siya konti. Yan. Or resize natin, then move natin upward. Press enter if you are done. So kunyari ito na yun. Yan. So palitan natin yung font ng isang layer. Itong annual na layer, select natin. Pwede rin natin i-activate yung auto select para pag click natin sa layer, selected na siya. Text tool tayo. Actually, ang shortcut is T. So pwede natin i-press ang T. Highlight natin. Palitan lang natin siya ng font. Kunyari, we will use impact. Then drag lang natin siya. Yan. Or if not, Control Z. Gusto nating medyo malalayo siya. Click lang natin itong character properties. Then adjust tayo dito. Ayan. Adjust natin yan. Ayan. So plus 100 tayo. Kunyari. Or plus 200 and 1. Then palitan din natin yung text ng report. Click natin sa report. Select natin ang text tool. Highlight natin. Palitan din natin ang impact. Balik tayo sa character palette. And then adjust natin yung spacing. 200. Okay. Then drag na lang natin para mag-align sila. Ayan. In terms of width. Yan. So this is 20. I-adjust din natin yung height. Pwede natin i-drag down. Annual report 2020. To change a color ng ating text tool tayo balik ulit. Then, select natin yung text. Kunyari, move tool tayo. Select natin yung 2020. Text tool tayo. Palitan natin ng kulay. Kunyari, we want it yellow. And drag lang. Highlight the text. Go to options bar sa taas yung rectangle. Click mo yan. Then, select a color. Yan. Select ka lang ng color. Drag ka lang. Yan. Okay? So, actually, we just modified the sample. And then, if you want a text here, the name of someone who made the report, your name here. Control A to resize. Select size. Let's say, for example, it's 36. Move tool. Move it at the middle. Text tool tayo. Click and Control A. Change color. Let's say, for example, if you want to select color from the object, you just click. Kunyari, this is your text. Control A tayo. Then, click mo yung yellow. Kung gusto mo yung blue na yan, click mo lang yan. Yan. Select niya yan. Then, click mo yung OK. Yan. So, that's it. Your name here, adjust ka lang. Yan. Then, press enter. Yan. So, meron ka ng cover ng iyong report. Ganyan yung diskarte. So, pwede kang mag-download ng full wallpaper and then i-add mo sa iyong, i-place mo sa iyong document para magkaroon ka ng report cover. Pagkatapos dyan, yung natutunan nating save as tayo, and then report cover. Report cover. Then, in Photoshop format, kasi nga later on gagamitin pa natin sa other report. And then, isi-save na natin as image para doon sa printing. Save as, then JPEG. Report cover. Save. So, meron na tayong report cover. Ayan. So, yan si Photoshop. Ganyan natin gagamitin si Photoshop para makagawa tayo ng ating report cover. Ayan. Kung gusto naman natin gumawa ng ating Google Classroom cover, ay ganito naman yung ating steps na gagawin. Let's click File, New. Ang size ni Google Classroom cover ay actually in pixels. Ang width ay 1000 pixel. Ang height ay 250 pixels. We can have 300 pixels per inch. Click natin yung OK. So, ito yung size niya. Now, from here, you can add your gusto mong i-background doon sa iyong cover ng class. Drag mo over Photoshop dito sa image na yan. O kaya, click mo yung file and then place. Select ka ng image. Kunyari, ito yung gusto mo. Then, click mo yung OK. Then, drag mo to resize. Yan. And then, kunyari, maglalagay ka ng logo mo. So, file, place. Then, look for your logo. Kunyari, ito yung logo mo. Drag mo lang to resize. Ayan. And then, mag-a-add ka ng text. Text tool tayo. Then, kunyari, sasabihin mo, welcome. Drag mo. And then, dito mo kunyari yan. Enter. Text tool tayo. Highlight natin. Palitan natin ng kulay. Kunyari, yellow. And then click natin yung OK. Paano ba maglagay ng mga glow effect sa ating images, sa ating text? Drag lang natin. All you have to do is select the text layer, then go to layer, then layer style, stroke. Stroke is adding a line either inside or outside of the text. So you select stroke, then you change the color here. White, red, blue, and you can select from your background. Ayan, welcome. So for example, welcome. In your cover, this actually contains your class name. So wag natin tatakpan yan. Instead, dito natin siya ilalagay. Ayan. Or, ayan. So, you can have here. Or here. Kasi may title yan dyan ng class and may class code yan siya banda. Pwede natin ilagay dito yan. Welcome. Learn and enjoy. Then let's just make it smaller. Okay. So, let's say for example, this is the logo. Lagyan lang natin konti yung logo natin. Ayan. And then, if you want your logo to have a glow effect, you still go to layer, style, then outer glow. You may change the color here ng sa logo mo. And at the same time, babagay dun sa background. Ayan. Let's say for example, this color. Then you click OK. So you're done. This is how you make your cover. You can actually have this here text. If you are editing text, you always use the text tool here. Palitan natin ng kulay. Gawin natin, let's say for example, puti. Ayan. Then we can also have a outer glow for the text. Layer style and then outer glow. Outer glow. You can also have outer glow for your text. Then you just slide the spread and the size. That's it. And you can, here, you can adjust stroke. Select mo lang si stroke. Then adjust mo yung kanyang size. Yan. Drag mo lang yung slider. Okay, after doing your Google Classroom cover, you can now save this by pressing Ctrl-Shift-S or File Save As, then selecting here my classroom cover. Click Save. Then save as JPEG, Ctrl-Shift-S or File Save As JPEG. Classroom cover. Save. Yeah. So that's how you make your classroom cover. To make your folder labels, so you just click File and then set the size of your folder label. If it's half a short bond paper, it's actually 8.5 by height is 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. 5.5. Okay. So this will be your folder label. So you can have your, let's say it's your letterhead. Drag it over here. If you do not want to drag, you can have File, Place. Let's say for example, this is your header, school header. Drag it over here. That's it. And then to make it look to have a boundary for the label, let's have rectangle. Drag it over here. And then fill, you remove the fill. Then you add stroke color. Select from your you add color here. Select color. And then change the size. If you want more colors, you can actually click this and select colors from your perhaps background image, then click OK. Then minimize that one by clicking outside. Okay, so try to resize your rectangle so that it will fit in your image, in your letterhead. Press enter. After that, you give here your report title. Report. Your report title. Our text is actually white. Control A and change it to another color. Your report title. Let's use impact. Click here, move tool, drag, then drag the edge, resize, hold shift, press enter, then add another text layer using another font. Sorry, text layer here, click, then your name here, Control A, change your font, okay, then resize. To align these things here at the center, all you have to do is just use your move tool, make sure that auto select is selected, drag over your layers. So to select all layers, then select this option here. That's it. So they are all aligned at the center. You can also change background of your label by placing another image. Place image, then look for the background you would want. Let's say, for example, you like this background. You just select the image and then you click place. Press enter, then move that layer below by going to your layer palettes or layer panel, sorry. Then drag it below to the lowermost part, then resize your image and then press enter. To change its opacity of your image, all you have to do is just, okay, let's resize the image. Para ma-change yung opacity niyan, all you have to do is drag the opacity here of your background so that it will not go over your title. Ayan. Para hindi niya ma-hide yung title. Yan, if you're done, you just click on File, Save As, your folder, label, save, then save that as JPEG, save as. Select mo lang yung print and then select mo yung size ng papel na gagamitin mo para i-print yung na-layout mo na cover. So, select mo lang yung image na yan. Then, click mo lang yung print. Ayan. So, pag na-select mo na yung print, lalabas itong dialog box na yan. Select mo in what? So, long yan, di ba? So, select natin yung more kasi that is long size, user defined. That's it. Then, press lang natin yung fit. Actually, the paper is not long. So, actually, you have to define that size in your printer. So, you just click fit, picture. Okay? Then, you click print, then number of copies. The folder label that we just lay out, half of a short bond paper. So, if we are going to right-click that and select print, and then we set letter size, and then we select fit page, and then we have it 5 by 7. So this is now, and copy of each picture is 2. That's it. Then we fit picture to frame. Yan. So as you can see, yan. After that, you click print, then you have now your folder labels, 2 copies, half of your short bond paper. If you want to print that in your full page short bond paper, you just go to full page photo, then you select the size and then the number of copies, and then you may fit the picture to frame or click to fit and check to fit the picture to the frame. Yeah. So that's it. Then you click print. That's how we use Photoshop in creating our report cover, your Google Classroom cover, and your folder cover. Ang dami pa nating pwedeng gawin kay Adobe Photoshop at ang dami pa nating pwedeng matutunan, just like changing the background, Just like ito kunyari. Ayan. And then, yung manok na yan, place natin over dyan. Ayan. Alam nyo na kung ano nasa isip ko. Marquee tool tayo. Select natin yung chicken na yan. Layer via copy tayo. Delete natin yan o i-hide. Ayan na. So, lalagay natin yung manok dyan. Sa harap ng magagandang baka na yan. Change natin yung size ng manok. Patong natin dyan yung manok. And then, meron tayong tinatawag na background eraser or magic eraser. Ayan. Napakadaling mag-erase ng background kung ang background natin ay in contrast sa ating object. Tulad niyan. So, napakadaling mag-erase. Pwede rin natin gamitin yung ating tinatawag na pen tool o kaya lasso tool para ma-select yung part ng image na gusto natin tanggalin. So, mag-add lang tayo sa selection. Ayan. Pwede natin gawin yan. Sorry. Kailangan natin ikutin. Okay, so dito na tayo ngayon sa ating first output. Gagawa na tayo ngayon ng ating report cover. Yan. Kunyari, ito yung gusto natin ma-achieve na report cover. But not exactly itong graphics na ginamit niya. We're going to revise something para magmukhang report cover. So, tuturuan ko kayo ngayon paano gamitin si Photoshop to create report